Hey, everybody. Thank you for being here. Connie, Paige, Replay, Tilly. Happy birthday tomorrow. Thank you. Ah, the years fly by, don't they? No one you know. Replay crew. Good morning. Oh, my goodness. Nighttime. Delaney for a good. Oh, that's good. Snow clouds. Oh, I just seen something about snow. Hey, Angela. And, oh, I see that, Angela. Unfortunately, hey, cool gamer, Batgirl, T. Adams. Unfortunately, we're not looking at snow. I was hoping we were, but we're not. Hey, Deanna, good to see you. Don't ask me why I wanted snow. I just, you know what I mean? I just feel like, why not? Right? The weather sucks anyway. Why not give us some snow? Hey, Craftastic. Dippity doo, a dippity da. Found out that she was sleeping with the. You just found that out, Replay crew? Hey, Joshani, how are you? Dude, so I realize not everybody has gotten to see the documentary. Hey, Christine. But so I'm gonna first more so talk about the trial, the case, the facts, revisit all that, and then we'll do this part. Sorry, hold on. That's what I meant. I was definitely throwing reasonable doubt her dad's clearly sus. I hate saying it. Okay, so we'll talk about that one hell of a night. Shift happens, Hummer Muffin. I went live at nighttime to see all of you lovely faces that I don't get to see too often because I'm daytime streaming, such as Hummer Muffin and Kathy. Thank you. Hey, Gary. Texas. It's not till tomorrow, but I'm excited. Yeah, I don't want to give anything away, just Shani. But I mean, a lot of people don't even want to watch it. Is that what you said? I want to doubt it. Yep, I know it. Mm-hmm. I don't blame you there. I was totally shocked. Oh, thank you, Connie. I'm nothing without you, so I'll tell you. Totally shocked. But some people are like, I have a new understanding. I have a new pity for me. No, I do not. Oh, thank you, Beatlemaniac. Listen, I'll take all the birthday wishes. Thank you, guys. You watched it last night, Judge? I watched some this morning. Oh, that's actually a good idea, just Shawnee. I didn't think about that, but I like that idea. Hey, Air Force vet. Well, I jumped to it. Hey, Clarissa. Not going to lie, I jumped to it a little bit because I noticed everybody was all doing it. So I thought, let me, nobody wants to be the last to report something. But I'm also supposed to be doing it with CJ. Tomorrow is Hummer Muffin. And because of that, I felt like an asshole letting my pettiness jump to it. And let me see something. It's hysterical. I think a lot of people don't want her to make money or contribute to anything she benefits from. I don't blame them. You know why? Because at the base of it all is Kelly, and I feel like people forget. Hey, Chicken Feet. Casey's dad did that act by herself to blame her father. It's ridiculous. That's what I always believe. Yeah, Paige. You do? Okay, so let's start with that then. Let me make a poll. Hold on. Let me get on the tubes, yo. Give me just the minute. I do have to show you guys the cutest thing. I was almost going to be late because of this. Let me turn my sound down. It feels weird being on YouTube side. What is a... Okay. Summer Muffin! Thank you so much. Hold on, guys. I'm on the other side of the tubes, though. All right. You know what else, guys? I want to try this out. Let me highlight that. Thank you, Hummer Muffin. Happy early birthday, Jess. Thank you. Hey, Freeside. Freeside, you don't even come in anymore and say anything to me. You talk to my chat. What the hell? I gotta add that to the tally. Thank you so much. Hey, One Red Rose. Yes, birthday funds, gifts, because I do love gifts as well. We'll be going. You know what, Paige? I'm not gonna joke. I'm not kidding. I was honestly thinking about it. I was thinking about buying it if I had enough for my tattoo. I'm thinking about buying that as well. But I want it, so I have a few plans, and then of course the rest goes towards the kids. It always does. So every little thing is greatly appreciated. Thank you. Oh, I missed it. Let me highlight this again. Hey, Chu, I haven't seen you in a while. The emojis don't show up for me, but it's good to see you. Okay, let me do this. No, I guess as far as M goes, no one, you know. You know what? I should have phrased that differently. I'll do a second poll if you think the father did SA. We'll put that. But there is this. I want to see what this option. I've never had this before. Let me see what this does. It says ask a question. And you guys tell me what that looks like for you guys, because I've never seen that before. I'm never on the YouTube part of this. I don't know how this works. You say no. No to which part, Delaney? Let me open this up. Let me see what my own question thing looks like. Like, can you guys answer it, or is it just like I'm talking in the chat? I don't even see me in the chat. Oh, okay. Oh, that's all it is. Like, so basically you just see me write out that question and you guys just respond. Is nothing cooler than that. You sent me a question. Let me see. This is fun. Oh, I can see this now. Do you think George, S.A., Casey, or Kaylee ended? This will remove all questions in a question list. Wait, but no. Oh, look at that. You guys answered. Okay. I don't get this. All right, I'm just gonna end this because I don't get the question thing. Where's the question list? It says this will remove all questions. Welcome. One hell of a night. Okay, I didn't get that. So it said people want to ask questions in chat for you to answer. Oh. Well, it tells me to engage with my audience by asking a question. I don't know. Okay, so I want to show you guys. Right now, the poll is at a 60% no, 40% yes. That's interesting. I have two things I'm going to show you guys really quick. One has nothing to do with Casey. And the other, I'm just an overgrown child. So I was almost late to the stream because my overgrown child ass was busy watching this beautiful. And if any of you have younger children, you know, your grandchildren, whatever, this is such a cute thing for you guys to check out with the kids. I used to watch it with Jace. He's a little too old now. He no longer cares to watch it with me. But look at this. Doesn't it make you happy? Okay, now you can't tell me that's not adorable. So it goes all through, and they actually do like a the Santa cam. They go through the different buildings of Santa's workshop, and I love it. They have an animal cam, they everything, and it's something you could just have on in the background as you're, whatever. And like, for example, here's the animal cam, and it always switches animals. It's very interactive. We're now looking at the cute squirrel. So I'm just saying, if you're ever bored like me and you need something cute to watch and get you in the feels, this is it. It is adorable. They're fixing the sleigh. Okay, let me stop. So yeah, I was almost late because of that. No, unfortunately, it's not that type of one, Tilly. See, Beetle Maniac, I found it about 3 years ago too, and now Jace is totally over it. But I still get down with it. I love it. All right, so it is so entertaining. I don't know. I could just watch it all day. But I did come across, actually, somebody sent it to me, and I watched a bit of it today, and I thought it was so great. It did a better explanation than I ever could at the beginning of kind of reminding us of Casey's case. And because I don't know about all of you, but you never seen that. It's adorable. I know, Tilly, there's no stripping. I'm sorry. You got to pay the extra for that, Ugh, I'll tell you. Look at you, Gary. You're really stepping up your mod game. I've seen you grow tremendously since the beginning of the channel till now. So one part that is sticking out for me personally is the amount of lies, just lies that Casey told. She was a pathological liar from the get-go, right? From the very beginning. So why do we believe her now? Hey, Shauna. And I was thinking heavily about it because I tried to watch the documentary in a not biased opinion. But some things just never get out of your head. So, I apologize, I'm juvenile. This guy does a really good job at kind of reminding us of all the beats. And I'm going to use his content. Hey, speak for yourself, Laura Lulu. Some of us are very curious of them.
How did a case that appeared to have all of the tenets of guilt and culpability result in such a confounding verdict? Blame and speculation has run rampant throughout the entirety of the news media, the internet, and the world at large. One thing seemed evident to me. There had to be more to this story, and I was determined to find answers. In my research, I remembered a case that I had worked on.
All right, so a little backstory here. Hey, Laced with Lacey. The gentleman speaking, he is actually a retired attorney. And he's only had his channel since I think it was November, and he grew tremendously. He does great. He is fantastic. And I could have never articulated the way he did, especially because I'm not going to lie, I rushed to this, given everybody was doing it. But you know what, Burnt Popcorn? There was a lot that the jury did not get presented. And I think that's a big problem as well. Oh, you know what, Judge and jury, tell me who she, with this time to get that. It was very, very biased. Fantastic channel. Absolutely adore him. You know what? I got to the part where she makes the accusations, and I said, I can't. And then you have these people coming on there confirming it for her, and you got her attorney saying, oh, yeah, that's how it happened. That's it. That's how it happened. You can't say that. Actually, was that her attorney? I don't even know. Some old man. He made me so angry. I just couldn't do it either. Boom. Just like we got with Leilani, right? You disposed of these children in the most horrific way. Leilani puts Quentin in the landfill. Chris Watts puts them in the oil. Casey Anthony, a freaking swamp. A swamp. And they even rented a place for her to live at while she does it's so awkward. The whole thing was awkward. Yeah, let me see. What are the poll results right now? I think so, Nikki, and I hope he's in a place where he can. I can't even see the poll because I have this up. So hold on, I'll pause.
On while employed at a firm in their litigation department. That day, I was deep in my preparation for an upcoming trial and received a call from the expert that we had employed during the discovery phase. He offered to meet me in my office to discuss his upcoming testimony and to go over important details. Now, the expert was a retired former prosecutor who had a wealth of knowledge covering criminal litigation, and I was eager to glean any important details that he could offer to help bolster our case. During our discussion, he began to explain the potential pitfalls we would face, and then shed light on a fairly recent development within the modern criminal justice system, a phenomenon known as the CSI effect. Now, the CSI effect has been described as the influence of crime-related media and the impact that it has on jurors' expectations.
So I felt like this was very important. Her parents created. They did. Yeah. They coddled her. They told her she was perfect. Nothing was wrong. I agree with that. She never had any repercussions for anything she did wrong. When she dropped out of high school, they not only continued to throw a graduation party, but they went as far as lying that she had honors. Yep. The mother took the blame for the Google searches. They created the monster. So this right here, I felt like was so important. The CSI effect. How much do you think, this would be a great poll if I could set one up right now. How much do you think that YouTube plays a huge part on that? Crime-related media. So from the news outlets to the YouTubers. I mean, look what just happened during Jarrett from Adventures with Purpose. Look what just happened during the court case. Forever in that woman who waited all these years to see her accuser, to have her moment in court, there will always be, subscribe to no thanks investigates. Like what? Or if we get to 1,000 likes, we'll have a Christmas giveaway. That is always going to be in the transcripts now of those court hearings. Whatever. Anyway, we are definitely tainting the jury pool. Having suspects on panels, Leilani, BJ over on shares, Voices for the Criminals, having them on panel. Do you know how bad that can affect the jury pool? Oh, you think she wanted to put her up for adoption, Laura? Hey, Gaga Peepa. Yeah, well, I didn't know she first accused her brother to test the waters a little.
Throughout the prosecution of a defendant in a jury trial. The expert would explain that television-educated jurors had already begun to have a deleterious impact on the outcome of cases that prosecutors had previously won. And in recent years, studies have suggested that this bias resulted in an increased burden of proof laid upon the prosecution from beyond a reasonable doubt.
Lace with Lacey, I was with you. I know that Duty Ron was accidental, right? I'm not denying that. He thought he found a loophole that if he listens to it but doesn't play it, he's not breaking the law, which good for him being retired, law enforcement, whatever. But my thing is to talk about likes and a member giveaway during a victim's moment just makes me feel like what was most important to him, right? Hey, Pointer Lover, we're in session waiting to hear somebody who was essayed as a child by her own cousin, and he's thinking of likes and giveaways. Oh, no. That explains it all, sunshine. I'm just kidding. Plus super chats, yeah. They go too far, Corey. They go way too far. Then you got Queen Bee on there. I'll fucking show you guys what the fuck and it FFFF. Oh my goodness. I don't know. I mean, but Doug did it on purpose. Coming in acting like he was Chris Madonna or whatever the dude's name is. And yeah, that was just, everything was awful. And then you got the one girl on there saying, I'm killing it on YouTube right now. Like that's all they care about. That's all they care about. Hey, point a lever, don't rewind. We just started. The whole thing was a mockery, not only at true crime on YouTube, but do you know how hard it is as the victim to have that day to face your accuser? And then to top it off, all these YouTubers are tuning in, and then you actually hear them. And the side chat was ridiculous. Has definitely impacted crimes, both positive. Yeah, but you know what? I feel like the buffoons, that's like a once, that happens so randomly. Yeah, I don't get it either. I don't think she wanted to have them to have that power. They didn't mute themselves. You have to mute yourself. Well, they are. Listen, if you think about it, we used to be able to watch court hearings. Now we're lucky if they air it. That's how little. JRCP about the two girls in the same bed. I didn't see that, Delaney. Yes, I agree, Shauna. And now it has to do it again. Horrible.
To beyond any doubt whatsoever. A recent survey comprised of a panel of former jurors seemed to support this claim. In the survey, they found that 22% of jurors expected to see DNA evidence presented at trial. 36% expected to see fingerprint evidence, and 46% of jurors expected to see some form of scientific evidence presented during the trial.
Oh, so I guess he's thinking more. This is so okay. I get it now. Like true crime shows and documentaries and stuff we watch, like CSI, and I'm a huge Chicago PD fan. Oh my goodness, love me some Chicago PD, and that kind of gives us a tainted theory of what courtrooms should look like. He could have deleted because people were pissed. He thrives off that stuff. JLR, he loves that stuff. Criminal Minds, yes. Watch it over and over again. It doesn't matter if you've seen the episode 20 times. You'll still sit on the edge of your seat. Love it all. When Kaylee is missing in the trial, I do believe she was traumatized by someone, but I'm not sure who. I think maybe she is feeling some regret and remorse. Really? That's interesting. She did, but she left out some parts of it were left out, but she did do a great job. Oh, really, Delaney? Didn't even know that. Oh, I got to remember that. Trouble with the law today for spit. Did she spit at a man? She spit at a man. Wow. You know what, Judge and Juror? Tell me if I'm alone in this. How many of you thought that Casey was going to say her father was the father? Did anybody else think that or just me? As I read this, just me user comment. I thought that was going to come out. I did. I don't know why. It's just the feeling I got. But I'll tell you what. I don't know if I'm going to. This is going to sound cruel, but I have to say it. If she was, by chance, essayed by her brother and her father, I don't think she would have ever had that little girl in that house. Yeah, I know, Lace. And that went through my mind, too. It would be a stupid thing to try, right? Well, I was wondering if this was her way, Rose, of trying to come back into the world. You agree? You guys all okay? So you guys do agree. I didn't want to sound cruel saying that, but most victims. I don't want to say most. I can't say most. That sounds really ignorant of me. I'm just thinking from my own perspective. I've known who essayed me. I would never, ever have them in the presence of my child, my little girl. And I just can't believe that she. Oh, hey, baby. Speaking of my baby. Okay. So I'm not alone. You guys don't think I'm an asshole. Thank you. Some of you do still think I'm an asshole. I don't care. Hey. All right. You 100%. Yeah, if she cared about her kid's husband, she wouldn't have done this. Wait, who? It was a dysfunctional family. Yeah, I agree with that. Shoot, fries.
And these expectations seem to exist even when the evidence did not exist, or when it was intentionally destroyed by the defendant. Additionally, the data has shown the steady increase of exonerations in criminal trials continuously rising from the 1990s on through the present. And before he left that day, he would again restate his belief that jurors would continue to expect indisputable scientific evidence in order to find a defendant guilty. Returning to my office that evening, I remember being baffled by my discussion with this expert. And at the time, I dismissed his story as the overly analytical musings of a passionate former prosecutor. I stored his formal opinion away and didn't think about it again until the Casey Anthony verdict. Today, we will begin the turbulent journey of revisiting a case that impacted the world over. And throughout this series, I would like to present my case for what I believe are the influences and reasons why the jury ultimately failed to convict Casey Anthony, and tell the excruciating story of a woman who rejected the intrinsic responsibilities of a mother who cared only for herself, proudly proclaiming,
This photo here kills me because she was out partying as they are looking for Kelly. Let's not forget that. I'm glad they declined because that whole interview was leaned towards making her innocent. Oh, Layla, I'm sorry to hear that. I still go around all them 30 years later. It's weird, but his family's going to move on. Yeah, but would you leave them with your child? Good on you being strong enough to do that. I'm sorry you have to do that. I agree with that, the Laura V effect. Absolutely. Just like the O.J. Simpson trial, prosecution messed up. That's not the fault of the jury. Prosecution going for the death penalty was a mistake. Couldn't be a juror because I would want that evidence right away because of what I'm learning. I get that too, Paige. Well, that's awesome that you are a forensic science student. She makes me sick too, Beatlemaniac. Okay, Layla, I see.
that she had no regrets. A woman who carefully crafted an ornate ruse to delay the recovery of the only evidence that could keep her from what she wanted most. A life free of maternal responsibility. A life without her daughter, Kaylee Anthony. This is the tragic tale of a filicidal sociopath, the Casey Anthony story.
Oh, wow, really? Solar, Marshall? That's actually close to me. Had they had her charged second degree, the results could have been entirely different. Doesn't that suck? Do you think any of them are kicking themselves in the ass today? Really? You think so? You think, Lise? I don't know. Wow. I agree with that, 7-1.
Episode 1. In the years since the Casey Anthony trial, many have analyzed the case and its defendant, including speculating to the possible underlying mental health issues that may have contributed to her manipulative and shocking behavior. And while we cannot know her state of mind or state any definitive diagnosis, it is my opinion that compelling evidence does exist to support claims of sociopathy. We refer to someone as a sociopath. The underlying psychological condition for sociopathy is described as antisocial personality disorder, or ASPD, a disorder described by the DSM 5 as a consistent disregard for rules, social norms, and repeated violations of people's rights with little to no remorse. But let's dig a little deeper. Further analysis reveals these additional signs and symptoms of ASPD. Symptoms may include dishonesty and deceit, including manipulating others for personal gain, difficulty controlling impulses, leading to criminal behavior or acting without consideration for the consequences.
I know, I know. You're all thinking of certain people right now. Me too. Plenty of sociopaths out here. But this does hit dead on for Casey. Good night, replay. Wait, I thought you said it was morning time. Oh, that was this morning. Honesty and deceit, manipulative behavior, poor impulse control, criminal activity, lack of regard. Like, how about when she told everybody she worked at Disney? Even took the police there. Walked around as if she was an employee. I mean, how do you do and go that far? Or how about Xana, the babysitter? I always thought Xana stood for Xanax, which is what I believe she would give Kaylee so she could party. Absolutely law effect. Like they were afraid. Zanny the nanny. Yep.
Additional signs include a disregard for the safety of themselves and others, as well as aggravated or aggressive behavior and difficulty managing personal responsibilities. Those with ASPD can also come across as arrogant or superior while using humor, charm, and charisma to manipulate others. And in all of this behavior, one of the most common hallmarks is the pervasive lack of remorse. Those with ASPD often find it difficult to maintain relationships due to their condition. They often have difficulty learning from personal mistakes.
The more and more this goes on, I'm just thinking of more and more people. Zanny, the nanny, was in fact Xanax. I think so too. Xanax the nanax. That's right, Gare. Oh my gosh. I know, Angela. Several going through your mind too. I know.
And one that you'll want to remember, they frequently demonstrate their lack of concern for others. Now, even if this diagnosis had been brought forward by the prosecution at trial, it would not exculpate Casey Anthony from her personal, legal, and societal responsibilities, let alone the ethical and moral responsibilities of a mother to her child. Mental health disorders help us to understand the offender with deeper clarity, but they are not excuses for their behavior. And when we can
we re-listen? Say that again. Mental health disorders can help us understand, but it doesn't excuse. I drove by that home. That is one of the biggest things. Mental health, it explains things, but it doesn't excuse things, right? You are still responsible. You have to learn. Yeah. And Casey, she's still, I don't think she's ever in her life, fettuccine Alfredo, been held accountable for anything. Is it, Corey? I thought it was just short for Xanax, to be honest, because I don't believe there was ever a babysitter. I believe she would drug Kaylee up to put her to bed and get her out of her hair so she could do her thing. Right, no excuses. Explains but doesn't excuse. Absolutely agree with that. There's one YouTuber that loves to say, and I got mental health issues. Yeah, we know. We know. The forensic psychologist says she didn't. Really? That's interesting, I'll tell you. Put a 1 in the chat if you think that Casey had mental health issues. Right, T. Adams? I can curse you out and say whatever I want, but you can't respond to me because I'm a protected class. My ass. Oh, my Nelly belly baby. One, there's one. Okay. Yeah, non-existent poor lady that everybody's on the hunt for. And didn't there happen to be a lady with that name? Yeah, Amber, I'm not too sure either. I think she's just a really good manipulative liar. I know some claim to be that good. You have to have mental health issues, but I'm sorry, not mental health issues, a disorder, but I don't. Except Granny. Thanks, Gare. Some would beg to differ. Even me, depending which day it is. Hey, Mrs. Italy.
Compare and contrast what we now know, this information helps provide a focused perspective on the personality and motivations of a woman still attempting to convince the world of her innocence. And in a recent interview, she did exactly that. 9 years after her trial, Casey Anthony would speak with the Associated Press in March of 2017. It would be her first and only public interview after the trial. And in this interview, she would give her version of events concerning the death of Kaylee Anthony.
But you were also convicted of one thing.
Lying to the cops.
Right.
People lie to the cops every day. Cops lie to people every day. I'm just
Look how she said that so confidently. She does suck, Bible verse 5. She does suck. Hey, Jay. The way she lies so confidently there, like, yeah, lying to the cops. She said it so proudly. I mean, I didn't mean to say lie there. She said so proudly, lying to the cops. Like, yeah, no big deal. Yeah, the cops lie to us every day. You didn't just lie to the cops. You lied long enough so that evidence would be destroyed. There's a big difference. You don't think so, Billy? Hey, if she's good enough, she just could. She just could. You never know. Just lying to the cops, Joe Madre, during an investigation for my missing toddler that I'm innocent of doing anything to and I miss so much. Who lies to the cops while there's a baby missing? I'll tell you who. The pieces of shit that made the babies go missing. Hey, Lady V. All right, let's see. I think she could too, to be honest. She's good.
one of the unfortunate idiots who admitted that they lied.
While I agree that people lie to the police every day, the fact that she would even attempt
So, like a true narcissist, she has to try to say that, but she's the idiot who admitted she lied. Not that she got caught lying. She admitted she lied. No, you got caught. Okay, you got caught. Oh, please, good Lord, T. Adams. Don't speak that into existence. No. Please don't. Yeah, like the good deed. Like, I was just so honest. I told the police I lied. Good question, Laura. I think she's sleeping with somebody that did this documentary. That's what I think. I don't think so, Amber. I agree with that, Wendy. Her dad was a police officer for years, so she was confident around officers. She's such a piece of shit. Stacy, welcome. Thank you for becoming a member. Welcome to the Shugs R Us, babe. Hey. Very happy to have you here. Thank you. Just want the voice behind the wall for advice. Voices for the useless, voices behind the wall. Anybody with voices in their name, stay away. Yes, Billy Sunday, perhaps, to be honest. Well, she didn't have to manipulate the jury. And the defense team, they're going to defend her no matter what. Whether she tells them the truth or not. Oh, never mind.
to characterize what she did during that time as normal everyday behavior says a lot about her personal growth since the trial. Nothing about her actions or behavior were normal, and she personally never admitted that she lied. Her attorney changed her story during the trial to an entirely new fantastical tale in order to save her from death row.
I see why I was treated the way that I was, even had I been completely truthful with those officers.
What weren't you truthful about? And I understand it might have been out of panic.
It was things that I didn't know at the time.
That pause after his question was almost 5 seconds long, followed by an answer that, even if you didn't know anything about this case, sounds completely untruthful. Not to mention her implication that she was somehow treated poorly by law enforcement, which has to be one of the most idiotic statements I've heard come from her mouth.
Yeah, so the docuseries, or whatever you want to call it, is available on Peacock. With Peacock, you can pay, as Amber stated, $5, and you'll have access for a month. Or sometimes with your cable company, you can get access to Peacock for free. For example, I can because of my cable. Creeps, though. I don't like her. I do believe she's guilty. Yep, I still have to see the doc. I just think for her to... What's the poll at? For her to blame her brother and father... Do you think he's going to take legal action against her? Because they turned down the documentary, but I do believe if she's lying, he could most definitely get her legally for that. I mean, this is a huge thing. Shauna, you said it. It's still all about her and not about Kaylee. Yeah, but you know what? Lie detector tests are dismissed. They're not even, you can't use them in court or anything. Some people have trained themselves to pass a lie detector test. There has to be something that can be done now. I feel horrible for them. Oh, it just breaks my heart. Just imagine, like, you know, and right before the holidays, guys, you know, right before Christmas, I know they've gone through many Christmases now without Kaylee, but it doesn't get easier. And to do this right before the holidays just kills me. I mean, I'm sure it kills them. Oh, thank you for asking, Beatlemaniac. Now, I don't think she's fully innocent, but I do not think 22-year-old Foodall is professional. She doesn't even seem that smart. Hey, some of us are not book smart, but we're very street smart. Leilani will be saying Quentin drowned as her defense. You think so, Larlu? But just like Kaylee, she's still disposed of her in a horrific way. Right, Corey? Such a pleasant daughter.
She wasted countless resources from law enforcement, the community, and innumerable volunteers who tirelessly searched for her daughter, despite likely knowing where Kaylee was the entire time. She fabricated elaborate narratives, intentionally misled law enforcement, offered up fake names, addresses, and places of employment, and she has the gall to imply that she was somehow wronged? Kaylee Anthony was wronged and mistreated.
Hey, welcome, Beatlemaniac. Welcome to the Tick Turtles. Thank you for becoming a member. Oh, and another one, Lady V. Welcome to Tick Turtles. Thank you. So we got new members of Stacy, Beatlemaniac, and Lady V tonight. Thank you. Welcome our new members. Thank you so much. Welcome to Granny's house. So he's right. It's like me. And we see that often. You know what? I see that in Leilani and Billy Joe. I see it in both of them as well. Me. Not much concern about the babies. I mean, listen, it's the month of December now, right? Welcome to December. Best month ever. Blessed with my presence. I know. But this is when the holidays kick in. This is when you start thinking of family and the gifts and your loved ones, and you see all the lights and the music, and it's all touching and lovey and feely and warm thoughts, and there's babies out here. Hey, Billy Sunday, thank you. Happy early birthday. Member for 6 months. Oh, it makes me so happy. Thank you. How is Billy Joe still doing YouTube lives and making plans to hang out with fucking weirdos off the internet? I know December is very depressing. I have to force myself to go live, so I totally get it. No, I'm not a grandma. Great. I'm 30. I'll be turning 34 tomorrow. Not a grandma, thank goodness. Let me knock on wood. I don't want to become a grandma for quite a few years. The name's a long thing behind it. Silly, goofy name. It was a troll account. Never thought it'd be a channel. Before I knew it, it was a channel, and it's too late to change it. And it is not named after anybody else's grandma. It is named after myself and how I behaved in my grandma's presence compared to, would you behave that way if your granny was watching? 11 months and 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, thank you so much. Am I Beatlemaniac? I love it. She's a massive narcissist and she thinks she's famous now. She does think she's famous. You know what I think, Jay? I think good old little Casey here wasn't getting enough attention as of late. That's what I think. Oh, Connie, I couldn't fathom, hun. I hope you know we're all here for you. And I think that's why she came out now with this whole shabacle. Absolutely Beatlemaniac. And that goes for anybody else. If any of you are uncomfortable calling me Granny, because I hear that a lot, you're welcome to call me Jess, Jessica, Jessica Lynn, whatever you prefer. Just don't call me asshole or anything mean, okay? The new emojis don't show up for me, but hey, look at that. On my phone it does. That's pretty cool. Let me try. Where are they? Oh, here they are. Hey, give the peace sign to the haters watching us right now. Okay, that's cool. They don't show up on the computer. Didn't Casey and Cindy have a big fight before she left? I don't think it was even... Yes, Wendy, they didn't bring a lot up. And how about Cindy saying that the Google searches were hers? So that was left out. I know, Billy Sunday, they don't like my jokes and stuff, That was left out of the... There was a lot left out that wasn't presented at court. Jessica Lynn. She said my name the other day when she was live. She was like, Jessica Lynn. And I swear my heart dropped. I was like, whew, don't do that to me. It was like when your parents call you by your full name, you're in trouble. I'm like, no, don't do that to me. Mm-mm.
Casey was simply held accountable.
I'm still not even certain as I stand here today about what happened.
And
I don't
to your
know.
understanding, how did she die?
I don't know.
You don't know. Something about drowning, possibly.
Everyone else has their theories. I don't know.
So your parents had her,
My dad did.
and next thing you know, she's missing, and right? How did it play?
I did what I was told. I don't remember too much of what happened.
There's almost too much to pick apart here, but did you notice how none of what she just said sounds authentic, truthful, or even remotely genuine? And to those who might not be aware, Casey has indicated that she is participating in a documentary about her case, where she claims that she will be providing proof of her innocence. But if this interview is any indicator of what she intends to say, she will only fall deeper into the hole she's been digging since the trial.
Give me the situation when things went wrong. When did things go wrong? All of a sudden, it's like, where's Kaylee? Like, is that how it went?
No, what I remember is being in bed,
Mm-hmm.
my mom coming in before she left for work and saying goodbye to us.
Mm-hmm.
And then waking up several hours later. And
Later in the morning.
Okay. So this is what Casey says here. Does any of you that watched the documentary realize that she says differently there? She says her father woke her up. Right? What do you guys ultimately think happened to Kaylee? For me personally, I think Casey gave Kaylee too much medicine to make her sleep and essentially overdosed her. I know, Beatlemaniac. I'm looking at the chat. It's hysterical. Joe Madre with the angry face. Casey makes me furious. Air Force with the scared face. Beatlemaniac with the heart, with the hands. I love them. Air Force vet with the crying. You think overdose too, Lady V? Judge and jury, that's not what she said in the documentary. It is absolutely not. You guys think that too? Okay. Yep. A lot of you agree with that. Yes, Delaney. In the documentary, Christine, she said her father woke her up. And this one, she says her mother. There's pink poop? Oh, there is pink poop. Pointer lover. I thought the one was a zombie, but now I see somebody looking through their hand, like scared looking, spying. Me too, AR. They definitely smelled a scent there.
Morning, hour, 2 hours later, and not knowing where she was.
Don't you wish you know what happened?
Absolutely.
And still, after all this time, she sticks to the narrative that defense attorney Baez peddled for her during the trial. You know, the one where her own father was responsible for Kaylee's death? But it certainly helps shed light on why her own parents still want nothing to do with her.
I don't give a shit about what anybody thinks about me. I don't care about that.
Yeah.
I never will. I'm okay with myself. I sleep pretty good at night.
This is a fantastic demonstration in how to conduct your life without class, empathy, or the mere semblance of human decency. But this interview helps to lend credence to the prior assertion of sociopathy. The truth of the matter is, Casey could tell the complete and unfiltered truth about the death of Kaylee, and it wouldn't matter because of double jeopardy. Instead, she would rather eviscerate her parents and the memory of Kaylee, all while refusing to show even a modicum of class along the way. An important thing to note about the interview with the AP is that 7 months after it, Casey's parents would conduct their own interview with True Crime Daily. And in that interview, her mother would state that she believed that Casey did in fact have a mental health disorder. Additionally, George Anthony would discuss the day he met with attorney Baez and was told about Casey's defense strategy. Attorney Baez told him that he would need to take the fall for Casey.
You know what? I think Casey's mother also has issues, but I believe this. I believe that her defense attorney told George that he would have to take the fall. And I'll tell you why I believe that. Because her entire life, her parents took the fall. Her entire life, her parents conducted, well, I should say conducted. They schemed with her. Right? Her entire life, they enabled her. They coddled her. They fed up with her lies. They did everything. So I believe that. I believe that the defense attorney said that to George. I know. I think she has to be dating some. I don't know. That's right, Lady V. You tell them. I'm going to pull me a duty run. And if we get to, hell, I would never get to 1,000 likes. So if we get to 100 likes, hey, cheese, you're too late. Sick of people asking her about a baby she didn't want, so she's trying to fix her image. That's what I think. I think Casey hasn't gotten enough attention lately. We'll get through this a little bit longer, and then I'll open up panel if anybody wants to come up and talk about it. Wasn't mother one that notified the police? Yes. But then try covering it up for her, Beatlemaniac. That's what I mean. It's almost like they want to do the right thing, but their helicopter hovering parent mode won't allow them. But then you can get to the other side, right? And let's say we believed Casey. I know, but let's say we believed her. And that her father and her brother both were essaying her as a child. Could the mom have known? Excuse me, and that's why the mom always coddled her? I don't know. Casey loved the spotlight. Again, let's not forget, she was partying as they're looking for the baby. Little as she knows, she'll never go out of headlines. Well, major headlines, but not true crime. Right, so we could think that way. Yeah, we could think that way, but how long you think till that book comes out now? TikTok's going nuts with defending her.
He didn't ask George if he was involved in the death of Kaylee. He told him he was. And in that same interview, Casey's father stated publicly that he would sue Casey if she ever tried to sell her story. While creating this video, news just broke that the new documentary called Casey Anthony, Where the Truth Lies, will premiere on Peacock later this month on November 29th. Now more than ever, we need to go back to the beginning and revisit where this travesty of justice began so that we can remind the world why the truth still matters, because of a little girl named Kaylee Marie Anthony, who would have turned 17 years old this year. Let's begin. Kaylee Marie Anthony was last seen at the home of George and Cindy Anthony on June 16th, 2008. A full month later, after an explosive confrontation, Cindy Anthony would call 911, officially informing law enforcement of the missing child for the first time. From the onset, Casey Anthony's demeanor would quickly raise questions about the validity of her statements to the responding officers and later to the detectives assigned to the case. An immediate effort to find Kaylee began as law enforcement converged in an effort to locate the nanny that Casey claimed had kidnapped her 2-year-old daughter.
Take a moment to recognize that Kaylee would be 17 this year. 17. Oh, yeah, I see you guys saying that in chat. Yeah, 17. That means I was just given birth to Alexis when when this was all taking place. No, I mean, actually, I have. Yes, Delaney is amazing. So she was a year older. Not just giving birth. I don't know why I said that. She was a year older. I have the hiccups. That, Michelle. I was waiting for somebody to say that. I feel old as that. Woo! My youngest, 17, I remember watching every moment of the trial. Oh, Joe Madre, let me link him in the thing. He's amazing. He does great Watts coverage as well. Oh, I got the hiccups as well. He's actually new to YouTube, and he is blowing up. Rightfully so. Oh, this guy deserves every ounce of views and subscriptions that he gets. He is brilliant. I'll be old tomorrow.
In today's video, we will review the initial conversations that Casey had with law enforcement during the initial efforts to help locate Kaylee. And in this analysis, I will also evaluate Casey's most recent claims that law enforcement unfairly maligned and mistreated her.
And you're saying that everything continues.
Casey is 36. Wow, I didn't realize I was so close to her. So she was 19 when she gave birth to Kaylee. Am I doing that right? Same, Angie. So you'll like my Back to the 90s birthday bash. I know, Beatlemaniac. Oh, I know. Oh, he's brilliant. Well, in that case, Blue October, I am a child. You know what's weird? Total sidetracked right now. But I never realized. So when you're a kid, you think somebody who's 30 is like really old, right? There's times I say to my sister, like when we were their age, my son's age, we were at a campground and everything, and our parents were our age. And yet we thought our parents were so old. And now we're that old. And it's just, oh my gosh, these hiccups. It is amazing to me that the age really is just a number. It's about how you feel, because sometimes I mentally, these hiccups are killing me. Let me try to scare myself. We're the same age. Oh, we're the same age. Life begins at 40. That's what I'm doing now. Burn popcorn. It's driving me crazy. I'm turning 39 this month, and it feels weird because I don't see how I'm almost 40. I know. It's like, wait, who let me? Like, at what point do you feel like an adult? Like, when do I start adulting? You'll leave your body. Wow. You guys, they're driving me crazy. I'm going to let this play while I try to get these out.
Contained in these statements are true and accurate.
Yes.
Also, before I turned on the recorder, I gave you a chance because I wanted to explain what happens if
Detective Yuri Melik was about to go right into confronting Casey, but catches himself when he realizes that he has a few legal steps he needs to take first. He knows something is very off with this case and already has information that suggests Casey's sworn statement is full of holes. But in this moment, he's likely still hopeful that the enormity of the situation will scare Casey into doing the right thing and ultimately telling the truth. But he couldn't have known just how far down this rabbit hole was about to go.
Day right now is July 16, 2008. The time right now is 04:11 hours. I'm Detective Mellish with the Orange County Sheriff's Office. I'm present here at 4937 Hope Spring Drive. I reference Orange County case number 08-069208. I am with Casey Anthony, is that correct?
Yes.
And Casey, please state your birthday for me.
03/19/1986.
Okay. Casey, you understand this is being recorded?
Yes.
You have any objection to that?
No.
All right. Casey, I got called here by Sergeant Reggie Hosey with the Orange County Sheriff's Office in reference to a missing child. We sat here and talked for a short moment before we went on tape because I wanted to make sure that your sworn statement, which I'm looking at, was accurate. I'm looking at 4 pages of a sworn statement. On the bottom it appears to be your signature. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you're saying that everything contained in these statements are true and accurate?
Yes.
Also, before I turned on the recorder, I gave you a chance because I wanted to explain what happens if you make a false report or if there's something about this incident that you're not telling us the truth of.
Mm-hmm.
So as if this officer had to turn off the recording to let her know that at her age, if she lied to the police, that she would get in trouble for it. She knew. I mean, come on, you know. We all know. I think you know that as a child. You know what I mean? If you lie to the police, you'll get in trouble. I think I beat the hiccups. I win. Yeah, betcha. Right, Gary? Oh, that looks like a house. Plus, with this case, Casey's looking good looking. And you know that helps. You know that helped. And she knew she was good looking, just like Jodi Arias, right? I don't know why that is, but it's the way of the world. The more better looking you are, it's easier to get out of trouble. And it's sad, but it's true. Very true. Her looks helped her. Turned 35 in August. Well, Batgirl, I've seen pictures of you, and you don't look old at all. Well, not that you're old. I mean, you're just a little old, but you know. You think she's ugly? I don't think so. I think she's pretty. She's a bitch, a psycho, but she's pretty. Jeez, I must be ugly because I'm always in trouble. No, you're just an idiot that gets caught. Friday? The 13th, favorite number, 13. Lady Visa, I'm a little old. You know what? Like we said earlier, it's just a number. Errors and nah.
And I wanted to make sure I made it perfectly clear that, you know, if you want to go ahead and rescind this statement, and if you want to tell me a different story about what happened, if you're trying to fabricate a story to kind of make something look a little bit better, now is your time to tell me. Are you telling me that this is the story you want to stick with?
That's the truth. It's the story I'm going to stick with. Yes.
Okay.
Within just a few weeks of this conversation, Casey Anthony would be placed under arrest on charges of forging 4 checks worth $650 from an account that she did not own and she did not have permission to use. During this time, she was also accused of stealing tens of thousands of dollars from her grandparents, her friends, and other family members. Despite Detective Milich's warning, Casey believes in her ability to lie and manipulate, and his warnings mean less than nothing to someone who is willing to do that kind of harm to people that close to her.
Oh, I forgot about that. I forgot about the money. I forgot. And she also claimed bankruptcy, didn't she? Yeah, the entitlement. You don't see it either, Judge and Juror? Well, you know, you see my track record. I don't have the best taste, so don't count on me. Okay, so wow. I forgot about that. Extremely spoiled. Yeah, so that's the story you want to stick to now? You sure about that? Loki's mom, complete and utter garbage. But I think her entire life she has gotten away with things. I think that plays a huge part in this. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Everywhere we go. I just finished a craft. I didn't know she stole money from Grandma. Yeah, from Grandma, Hummer Muffin. She didn't even care.
In your own words, let's go back. Your daughter's name is Kaylee, Caylee.
Yes.
Marie Anthony. She was born August 9th.
2005.
Okay. And according to your statement back on August 9th, I'm sorry, back on June 9th, 2008, you took Casey to a babysitter's house.
Yes.
And who was this babysitter?
Her name is Zenaida Fernandez Gonzalez.
Do you know how to spell the first name?
Zenaida.
And where was Zenaida's? Where did you drop your child off?
The Sawgrass Apartments on Conway in Michigan.
Do you remember the address?
I don't remember the address.
Do you remember an apartment number?
210.
Okay.
It's on the 2nd floor.
Look how easily she just lied right there. 210, 2nd floor. And we know that is not true. All the confidence in the world here. Wow. So confident. I think she will, Beatlemaniac. I think Leilani will definitely pull some shit like this. Sadly, I definitely do. Wow. Exactly, Jay. Pretty much like his mom.
One of the great tragedies of this case was hearing the jurors discuss their feelings of what they believe went wrong during the trial. Many of the jurors believed that the lead prosecutor was cold and arrogant. Now, having worked for brilliant attorneys for most of my life, I can attest to the fact that many times exceptional attorneys become so efficient at their jobs that they forget the importance of communicating to a layperson like a layperson. But the most shocking discovery for me was learning that the jurors believed that defense attorney Baez was truly caring and sincere. And all of that to say that even though we know Casey is in the middle of spewing demonstrable lies, she's only doing it because to this point of her life, it's worked.
If you were to pull into the Sawgrass Apartments, would the building be the one closest to the road, furthest back, halfway?
As soon as you go straight, you go over one speed bump, and it's the first one on the right-hand side.
Okay, is there a pool next to it, or is there anything about the apartment that stands out?
There's a welcome sign. It's, I guess there's a little shed close to the building. Maybe.
So not only did she choose like a level it was on, an address number, but now she, there's just a little shed and a welcome sign. Disgusting. I think there might be a shed, a welcome sign, maybe some flowers. I don't know. What do you want to be there? We're making it up, sir. Use our imaginations together. Ugh.
Maybe about 10 yards away.
Okay. How long had you known Zenaida?
Almost 4 years. It'll be 4 years Christmas this year.
Yeah, and where did you meet her? Who did you meet her through?
A mutual friend. His name is Jeffrey Michael Hopkins.
Jeffrey?
All right. So like I believe for me that Xana was Xanax, right? That's always been my thought, my theory. If you listen to what she says here with that in mind, it still makes sense. Just rolls right off her tongue. She believes her own lies. She's probably been giving it to Kaylee. I mean, if you just, probably did get it through her friend Jeffrey. And, I don't know. Blows my mind.
Jeffrey Hopkins would testify during the trial of Casey Anthony, and during his testimony, they would replay this segment of Casey's recorded statement. He would go on to explain that virtually every aspect of her statement to police was entirely made up and untrue. To onlookers watching the trial, it clearly demonstrated Casey's intentional efforts to mislead and misdirect law enforcement, which was one of the many indicators of her guilt. But later on, it was revealed that the prosecution's efforts to repeatedly impeach Casey's credibility had an entirely unexpected effect. While it would be an overstatement to say that the jurors felt a sense of sympathy for Casey, they sadly did not weigh her constant attempts to lie as a clear sign of her guilt and culpability, which even now, all these years later, still seems completely baffling.
I met him at Nickelodeon at Universal, and I met her through him. She was his son's nanny at the time.
Does Jeffrey still work at Universal?
No, he does not.
How long has it been since he left?
About 9-10 months, give or take.
Did he move back to Jacksonville?
He moved up to North Carolina for a short time and moved down to Jacksonville within the last 3 months.
When was the last time you spoke with him?
About a week and a half ago.
Okay. Do you know a telephone number for him?
I can find a number for him. I don't know a number offhand. No, I do not.
You mentioned something before we went on tape about your cell phones.
Yes. I have 2 phones. I just received a new phone through work, through Universal.
You guys, keep in mind, she does not work at Universal. She is lying. I mean, how easily this woman just lies. Yeah, please hit the thumbs up. Thank you, Lady V. I can't believe it. I mean, just studies like Universal, 2 work phones, blah, 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 da-da-da. No big deal. Unreal. Exactly. She doesn't even work there.
The phone won't keep charged, so I use my old phone that I actually had gotten, again, through Universal for work.
Okay.
Casey has only been speaking for a few minutes, and already most of what she said are verifiable lies. With even a cursory understanding of this case, by now most people know that Casey had a long, documented history of pathological lying. But allow me a brief foray into her past for those unfamiliar with that history. One of the most infamous stories occurred while Casey was still in high school. She had begun to miss very important classes that eventually put her ability to graduate completely out of reach. It wasn't until her parents were notified of her truancy and her inability to graduate that the truth forced its way out. But even then, she continued to double and triple down on the lie and continued to reject any notion of her responsibility or personal failure. And how did her parents respond? They told her lie for her and convinced everyone that she had graduated, and with honors, even going so far as to throw her a graduation party for something that never happened. And I contend that it was in that moment, when cornered in those series of lies, that the parents of Casey Anthony made a critical mistake that they had likely been making the entirety of her young life. While no parent is perfect, speaking from experience, one thing is true for all parents. Covering up the lies of your children only serves to ensure that those small misdeeds today becomes the pain and suffering of everyone tomorrow.
Did you lose a phone?
Yes.
Was it your personal phone?
It was my personal phone, but I also use it for business.
Okay. What's the number for the phone that you lost?
407-619-9286. It's
Did
the
you
same
keep
number.
that same number?
Yes, it's
You
still
just
the
lost
same
the phone.
number. I just lost the phone.
And in that phone, you're saying was a SIM card, and the SIM card had the contact
Actually, the
information?
SIM card is in my Nokia phone, but I know there's numbers saved to the cell phone itself. So if we get the actual phone, I know I have one other number for Zenaida and probably a number for Jeff besides work numbers, and
But they're not in your SIM card?
they're not saved on the SIM card. They're saved on the phone. I've been trying to figure out on that new phone how to save numbers from the phone to the SIM card and switch them back and forth. So that way I have everything all in one piece.
Okay, so the phone where you had the number saved was lost.
Yes, I filed an incident report.
But how did you end up keeping the SIM card?
I had
Convenient, huh? The phone with the number was lost. But I filed an incident report. She thought out her lies like you wouldn't believe. This is why I don't believe what she's saying now. I don't believe it. Huh. Wow, the Laura V effect. I couldn't imagine. Let's hear what she says right here about that, Shauna. Pretty interesting stuff, right?
taken it out. I know I left the phone incident report.
The phone where you had the number saved was lost.
Yes, I filed an incident report.
But how did you end up keeping the SIM card?
I had taken it out. I know I left the phone on my desk at work after I'd switched the SIM card back to my old phone.
Yeah. How many of you are just removing SIM cards, right? Yeah, I'm just switching SIM cards between my phones. Nobody's doing that. If you had two phones, one for business and one personal, they would each have their own SIM card. You would have no reason whatsoever to switch the SIM cards around. But she's saying it with such confidence. You do, Lady V? Wow.
Because this was the phone that actually would keep charge.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be able to have a working phone instead of having a phone that would only stay charged for about a half hour and then it would die and I can't make any more calls. It's for me not
So
practical.
after you switched the SIM card was when the phone went.
I left it. I know I left it on my desk, and I hadn't been at work for at least 3 or 4 days.
And you said you made a report to Universal? Or
Yes, with security.
when
9
was that?
days ago.
9 days ago?
Yes.
There was no report filed with security because she didn't work there anymore and hadn't for 2 entire years. And for me, it's the brazenness of her lies that leaves me shaking my head in stunned disbelief.
She not only quickly said 9 days ago, but she backed it up. 9 days ago. Yep, 9 days ago. 9 days ago, nothing happens. Oh, I see, Lady B. Okay. She's a whole damn lie, right? Sounds like she's never been held accountable. That's true. NK did, right? Broken SIM card. Convenient. Casey's parents tried with Casey, like tough love. They chose to love her to get her to be happy instead. They never dreamed she would hurt Kaylee. I agree with that. She's an accomplished liar. I don't believe anything comes out of this baby murder and liar's mouth. I'm with you. Not a damn thing comes out of her mouth, do I believe.
Because while she's spewing lie after lie, she hasn't once brought up Kaylee. Not once. She hasn't asked about their efforts to find her, if they can wrap up these questions so that she can get back on the street to look for her baby. And this is precisely why the American public and the world looks at Casey Anthony with such disgust. Because in all of these interactions, all of the recordings, all of the conversations to her family, to law enforcement, and to anyone willing to listen, she shows no concern, worry, or sadness over the disappearance of her daughter, Kaylee, which only serves to reverberate like the incessant ramblings of a self-absorbed sociopath whose very existence leaves anyone paying attention with the confidence that all of her actions were premeditated and planned, that she wanted to distract anyone and everyone from finding what she was hiding in a swamp down the street from her house.
Amen, amen, amen. Everything she said. Froggy, I think the only way I could do that would be on Discord. Everything this man said is everything I feel. She wanted to distract, get rid of evidence, hold it off as much as she can, and in the meantime, party it up with her friends. She didn't give two craps about Kaylee. And I don't believe now that she did all this because she was scared. I don't believe that one bit. Excuse me. Yeah, it's true, but I still don't believe her. It's too convenient. You just lose the number? No. No, you're right, Froggy. It would be cool if I could. I thought about it, but I know I would immediately get copywritten. We can't afford all that with these people out here gunning for the channel. Yeah, he stays as much cheese. That's why I agree with him. Oh, I don't have Discord anymore, Lady V. Too many people try to use it for no good. Amen, Yamaha. Yup, Wendy. You know what? I think she was so angry at her parents. That is why she wouldn't just give Kaylee to them. She would never give them that satisfaction. Obviously, she's still angry. Look at what she's accusing them of today. Sick.
Praying to God that the evidence of her guilt would simply fade away.
So you met Zenaida through Jeffrey Hopkins
I did.
and his son Zach Hopkins, I guess. Zenaida used to watch over Zach.
Yes.
And so you've known Zenaida for about 4 years.
Almost 4 years.
So
Yes.
you knew her before you had your child.
Well, I met her just before I was actually pregnant at the time. So.
And when did she start watching over your child?
It's been within the last 1.5 to 2 years that she started watching Kaylee. I had another friend watch Kaylee that I've known since middle school. When she went back to school, I was looking for a new nanny. Jeff.
Let's not forget, during the documentary, she says nobody ever babysat Kaylee. That she lied and made up Xana, the Nana, right? Because she didn't want to leave Kaylee with her father in her father's presence. So, but here she's given a whole story about this other person who babysat prior to this person. And yeah, you know what they say, Shauna, was the way he gives too many details is because they're being dishonest. Well, Hummer Muffin, just the fact that she's saying her father and brother S8'd her. To me, that's a reflection on the mother. I mean, you may disagree, but I feel that way.
Offered to have Zenaida watch both kids. She agreed, and it kind of went from there.
Before Zenaida started watching over your child, who was the nanny?
Her name was Lauren Gibbs, Gibbs.
And when did Lauren stop watching your child?
Maybe April of 2006.
Okay. And right in April 2006, roughly, is when Zenaida started watching
Yes.
over? How would you normally drop off, or how would you normally do the exchange with your child and Zenaida? Would you drop the child off? Would you meet you somewhere?
I would usually drop her off.
Every single question Detective Melick is asking is strategic. During this interview, law enforcement had already started to run down all of the information Casey had previously provided in her sworn statement. And during this interrogation, there was already an entire team of law enforcement officers who were on the phone calling the apartment complexes, running down the leads, speaking with the HR department of Universal Studios. And every single call would reveal more of the truth that they had already begun to suspect, that Casey Anthony was hiding something sinister. But it almost seems asinine that anyone would blatantly lie about every aspect of their story, to law enforcement no less, a group of people whose entire job is to verify and investigate. Unless, of course, the whole purpose of the lies was to delay the discovery of the forensics, which would ultimately reveal the truth. A truth she was desperate to keep hidden.
For a few months, we would go over to Jeff's house. He lived over in Avalon Park. That was a couple years ago, almost a couple years ago.
And you would go to Jeff's house, why?
To drop off Kaylee. That's where Zenaida would go to watch both of the kids.
Okay.
It was in a nice centralized area. He had a decent sized house. It was good room for the two of them. Then I started bringing Kaylee over to Zenaida's apartment.
How long were you using, or were you going to Zenaida's apartment? When did you start taking Kaylee?
I guess maybe the end of 2006, beginning of 2007.
So
Isn't this crazy? Yeah. They do, Hummer Muffin. I have fantastic mods. Very appreciative of them. Yeah, this is crazy. Just boom, 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 like that. Just bust them out. Lady V, thank you so much. Thank you. Yep. No hesitation. I mean, this time she had a little hesitation, but man, she just keeps it coming.
So since the end of 2006, beginning of 07, you started taking Kaylee to Zenaida's house on Sawgrass.
She had an apartment on, I guess it's considered Glenwood, but it's off of Bumby and Robinson, close to downtown. She lived there for quite a few months and moved over to Sawgrass just recently this year.
The house on Bumby. Do you remember the address or remember where it's at?
I know it's off of Glenwood. I don't remember the apartment number offhand. No, I do not.
And how long would you say you dropped the child off there, from the end of 06, beginning of 07 to?
Maybe about 6-7 months, so maybe the middle of 2007.
So she moved into Sawgrass about the middle of 07?
She's been at that apartment in Sawgrass for about the last 3 or 4 months. She lived with her mom for a little bit.
Guys, please try to remember this lady she's speaking of does not exist. She does not exist. There's nobody. She made this person. Oh, Lady V. Thank you. She made this person up. Froggy, the kids received a gift from you today for Christmas. Thank you. Everything she's saying right now, she lived with her mother. Now she lives here. She moved at this point, but it didn't happen. It's not real. And she's just not a person. It doesn't exist. I mean, talk about insanity. Yeah. All fabricated.
Where does her mom live?
She lived off of Michigan.
Do you know where the house is?
It's not a very well marked neighborhood. It crosses just over Conway. It's one of the big stretches of neighborhoods.
Had you dropped the child off there before?
Yes.
If you had to find the place, would you be able to find it?
Most likely, yes. I think I'd remember the house.
Okay, so she was living off of Glenwood, then moved into her mom's house somewhere off of Michigan.
Hmm.
For the last several minutes, Casey has provided detailed location information, specifics of where, when, and how she would drop off Kaylee, and information about Zenaida, her babysitter. There isn't a single scintilla of truth in what she just said. Kaylee is missing, and she's fabricating lies that will soon eradicate her credibility to the entire world. But yeah, she was right. These were just everyday lies that people tell to the police. You've got to be kidding me.
And then moved
And
into
then over to
Sawgrass.
Sawgrass.
So Sawgrass 3 or 4 months ago, off of Glenwood until mid 07 in mom's house.
Her mom wasn't living there at the time. Her mom had gotten another place with her sister, but she was staying over at the house and moved in with the 2 girls that are referenced in the pages.
Isn't that just crazy? Probably not, Wendy. Probably not. The way she's sitting here right now and giving us all these details, but her mom didn't live there. She moved out and blah, blah, blah. And none of it is real. Except Beatlemaniac, she should have stayed in the god darn shadows. She should have never came out from those shadows. But that's the problem. Good old Casey didn't, she can't be in the shadows. I think she enjoys it. And I can't. She is nuts. She's very nuts.
She was living with these 2 girls at Sawgrass?
Yes.
Okay. Go back to your statement. You dropped off Kaylee on June 9th and walk me through. You dropped her off to go to work?
Mhm.
Okay. Get off of work and go from there.
I got off of work, left Universal, driving back to pick up Kaylee like a normal day. And I show up to the apartment, knock on the door, nobody answers. So I call Zenaida's cell phone and it's out of service. It says that the phone is no longer in service. Excuse me. So I sit down on the steps and wait for a little bit to see if maybe it was just a fluke, if something happened. And time passed. I didn't hear from anyone. No one showed up to the house. So I went over to J. Blanchard Park and checked a couple other places where maybe possibly they would have gone. A couple stores, just regular places that I know Zenaida shops at, and she's.
How aggravating is this? This is aggravating because we know she is lying. And then we listen to the documentary and she's saying, well, she didn't talk her way out of it, Cheese. She didn't talk her way out of it. There was just luckily not enough evidence. She misled everybody and led them down enough places that there was not enough evidence. And just because you can talk somebody out of a murder conviction, talk her way out of it, doesn't mean she's not nuts. I think you got to be a little crazy to do that. But yeah, here she is, and I went here and I went there and blah, blah, blah. But now today she says, oh, she knew the whole time Kaylee was dead, but it was her father's fault. Yeah, her father's fault. But in this interview, yep, she created so much doubt. What are you doing, sweet girl? Looney Tunes. Yeah, that surely sums it up. I do, Beatlemaniac. Absolutely do.
He's taken Kaylee before. And after about 7 o'clock, when I still hadn't heard anything, I was getting pretty upset, pretty frantic, and I went to a neutral place. I didn't really want to come home. I wasn't sure what I'd say about not knowing where Kaylee was. Still hoping that I would get a call or, find out that Kaylee was coming back so that I could go get her. And I ended up going to my boyfriend Anthony's house, who lives in Sutton Place.
Yes, officer, the the lady with my child just disappeared, and you know, instead of calling you guys or doing anything like that, I instead went to my boyfriend's house, and then we found our way to a bar where we partied it up a little bit, and you know, I did a hot body contest and got a new tattoo, but I never called you all. Right, Wendy? A huge smile during the hot body contest. But yeah, never called you all. Not you, police.
Did you talk to Anthony about what happened with Kaylee?
No, I did not.
Had Anthony ever seen Kaylee before?
Yes, you have.
Now imagine for a moment you've just discovered that your child is missing, and you suspect that your baby, the child that you've loved and raised from birth, has been fatally harmed by your own father. Now, eventually you're able to break away and meet up with your significant other. Now, it may seem like a stupid question, but indulge me. What would you do in that situation? Well, if you're Casey Anthony, you wouldn't tell a soul that your monstrous father harmed your child. You don't tell law enforcement, your friends, your family, or your boyfriend. And in fact, you make a completely ridiculous lies that only serve to impeach your credibility to anyone who could have possibly believed that you were the victim all along. But you know the saying, right? If it walks like a duck and talks like a duck, then it must be a battleship.
Have you talked to anyone about Kaylee, about your incident with Kaylee? Or the fact
Outside
that
of
she's missing?
a couple people, a couple mutual friends.
Who did you talk to about it?
I talked to Jeffrey Hopkins.
Mm-hmm.
I also attempted to contact Zenaida's mother and never received a call back from her.
Do you know Zenaida's mother's name?
Now, I know what I just said, but to be clear, she didn't do any of this. She didn't tell anyone about Kaylee being missing. Now, despite the fact that she could conduct a masterclass in sociopathic behavior, she's not dumb either. She's starting to realize how absolutely absurd it would be for a mother to have lost their baby and then not to have told a single person about it, which, by the way, completely clashes with her eventual defense at trial that she hid the truth from everyone. And during the trial, even to this day, she claims that her father orchestrated everything and she was just told to keep her mouth shut. But Casey, if that was true, then why did you tell 911 and the police that you had told other people about Kaylee being missing?
Yeah, see? So it's funny if you compare the documentary that just recently came out with everything from back then, it makes it all a little bit clearer. I think they intentionally waited this long because they were hoping most would forget. And I definitely agree with you, Larry, that the term nuts is misleading because you can be nuts and still be intelligent, right? There's like this stigma behind the word nuts that everybody who's nuts looks and acts a certain way. But as we know, that's not always the case. Driving your car, sleeping in your bed, knowing your baby. Yeah, no, she's just having a grand old time. But let's not forget, she now blames the father. And she knew all along, and she was scared, and it was her trauma. And oh my goodness, it doesn't stop with her. It's not enough about Kaylee. Yeah. Let's finish out what he says right here, and then I'll turn this off.
Do you see how all those things contradict themselves? I already can't wait to hear whatever she's going to concoct in this upcoming documentary series, but mark my words, it will be another attempt at trying to elicit sympathy for the one person Casey Anthony cares about most, herself.
Wow, man. I think it's Gloria.
Do you know a telephone number for Zenaida's mom?
I do not know.
Do you have any of these numbers programmed into your SIM card that you kept into your other phone? And having a babysit, and you don't
Switching
remember.
numbers back and forth. Zenaida's number has changed a couple different times. She switched services between having Sprint and having AT&T or Singular.
What about Jeffrey? You've known him for at least 4 years.
His numbers changed a couple different times from when he moved from Orlando up to North Carolina and back down to Jacksonville. I know I do have a current number for him.
How would you get that number?
If we can find that other phone, or I might have it online, I may be able to access it off the internet.
Okay. Who else did you talk to about this besides Jeffrey? You said you tried to call Zenaya's mom. You
Mhm.
talked to Jeffrey. Who else did you talk about?
I talked to Juliette Lewis. She's one of my coworkers at Universal.
She works. You still work at Universal?
Yes,
What do you do at Universal?
I'm an event coordinator.
Okay. What is Juliet? What position is she? Where she works?
She's also an event coordinator. We work in the same department.
Law enforcement is about to take Casey to her workplace at Universal Studios to meet her friend Juliette Lewis. And then after, they'll consult with her manager, Al Pacino, who will eventually help direct them to her best friend, Kanye West. Okay, seriously. Later that day, law enforcement would verify the non-existence of her made-up friend, Juliette Lewis, and confirm that no one by that name ever worked for Universal Orlando. They would also learn that Casey was not an event coordinator. She was the person who took pictures of people getting off the rides. But more and more, it's becoming clear that I've been wrong from the beginning, and Casey Anthony really was just telling normal, everyday lies.
It's all lies. And when you keep that all in mind, how elaborately she just lies here, it blows your mind. It blows your, how could anybody take anything that she is saying today as facts? Like today she's being honest, back then she just lied all the time. Why are you hating on the narrator? You got a real problem with him, huh? I think he does a very good job. But yeah, I mean, today she's being honest. Not then, today. All these elaborate lies, shoot off her tongue, nothing about her father, just comes out like his everyday talk. Matter of fact, she went as far as to say that it's every day, that this is just a lie that you tell. Are you here, Jake? Thank you. Are you here? I miss you. But yeah, yep. I told a few cops lies to the cops, but they lie to us every day, so no big deal. So do I, Judge and Jory. So do I. Absolutely. Just because you're proven innocent by a court of law doesn't mean you're innocent. I think anybody listening in can hear the guilt. Hell, snitches get innocent too, right? You know what I mean? Yeah, no, I think she's very much guilty. And I think listening to all this, and then her interview as of late, the documentary, I think right there proves more than ever that Casey is and will always be only about Casey. I think she's a pathological liar. I think it comes out so smoothly for her because she's always gotten away with it. Hell, her parents threw a graduation party for her despite knowing she dropped out. They even stepped it up by saying, yup, she was honor roll. Mm-hmm. It's pure insanity to me. I don't know how anybody believes her or feels bad for her, because I absolutely do not. When individuals of this nature are easily duped, they cannot wrap their heads around comprehend individuals of this nature, so they fall for the bullshit. You know what? I think Casey Anthony lucked out by being found innocent, and I think that's because they went for the death penalty, and there just wasn't enough. Honor roll, yeah. There just wasn't enough. Oh, they lied when she was pregnant too. Yeah, I think he is funny. Graduation party. Sincerely believe that she had graduated top of. Yeah, how convincing her parents are, and to even why would, I guess they didn't want to be embarrassed. I don't know. Judge and jury, you got that, facts. Yeah, that is right. That's true. Even when they hear it. Even when people know, like, even when you present facts on here, people still want to believe the bullshit. Oh, is that so, Cheese? Oh. Absolutely, Hummer Muffin. Yep. Yeah. You know what, Sunshine State? I'm very thankful she hasn't had more. Could you even fathom? I think she's one of those people that never wanted to be a mom. I do. I think she never wanted to be a mom. I can't believe it. There just wasn't enough for beyond reasonable doubt, and that's unfortunate. The weird thing is all her friends said what a great mom she is. Gary, you're always so complimentary. Thank you. She's too selfish. I agree. Yeah, you know what? I think she was a good mom. I won't take that from her. I think she was a good mom while Kaylee was younger and a little bit easier, and she had her parents' help. And as the kids get older, they do become more difficult. And she wasn't able just to, put the baby to bed anymore and go out because she could wake up, she can come out of bed. It became too much of a liability. And how about the story how she even got pregnant? They're saying another guy was the father. Yeah, she killed her. That sounds about right. Hate these people who hurt their children. You know what we should do for people that hurt their children? An eye for an eye. That is my belief. An eye for an eye would be fantastic. There might be less crimes against children. Me too. I swore, T. Adams, I was holding my breath for her to claim that her brother or her father was the father. I don't know why, but I just could see her pulling some shit like that. We started doing an eye for an eye, I think we'd have well less crimes against kids. Right? Wouldn't that be great? Of course, if we know for sure they're guilty, because in cases like this, yeah, she's just loving her spotlight. I agree with that. There's always, always blame. I do feel like the parents just, they loved her. They did. I know, Billy Sunday, but you know what? I feel like the world's going blind anyway. I feel like there needs to be cases made example of. And I think if there was, people would stop hurting kids as much. I mean, every day. She took her life, but she didn't take her soul. Oh. Of course. There's always still going to be. Just like, you take away guns or put laws on them, there's still going to be people. I mean, but it would definitely prevent some. Who knows, Christine? I don't know if anything about her's true. They labeled as the father, I think was deceased, but now she's saying he isn't the father and is from a RAPE, but who knows? I'll go with anything opposite of what she says. There's not enough evidence to convict because there's not enough without a doubt. But no, I feel like there is. I don't know. Like Leilani? Huh, throw her in the landfill. Not enough reasonable doubt. First degree murder, aggravated manslaughter. For aggravated manslaughter, it actually was 50-50. 50-50. 50 found her guilty, 50 didn't. That's what, at the very minimum, I wish they would have. I don't know what would be Billy Sunday. I think the way she led them on a goose hunt for the nanny, and she's out partying, and just, I know, but that's not the way the law works, right? So, of course she declined. Because she, in her mind, believes she's not guilty. She's one of those miraculous people that just believe their own lies. There's a lot of them, unfortunately. That's what it came down to. So this is what the one juror says. Hold on. She was living it up. Best life. So when it came to first degree murder, it was 10-2. Then 30 minutes later, two decided they were willing to change their vote. Then they did aggravated manslaughter. We did our first vote, and it came out half to acquit, half to convict. And we talked about it for a while, going through the evidence. I'd say that some people got intense, but there were no personal attacks, no real yelling. And we talked for a while, and then it was 11-1 to acquit. And the guy who didn't want to acquit looked at us and said, okay, whatever you all want. He knew he wasn't going to convince us. Then we sat there for a few minutes. We're like, holy crap, we are letting her go free? He continued. Everyone was just stunned at what we were about to do. One woman asked, are you okay with this? And I said, hell no, but what else can we do? We promise to follow the law. Yeah, her parents sure did help. And look how she pays them back. Whoop, whoop. Just a few hours of sleep, Gary. Yeah, right. Not want your child to go to prison, but is this reality really much better? They still don't have her. I mean, technically, look what she's done to them. She doesn't bother with them. It's just a hard thing. Just what like how sad for what the jury had to go through, and her parents and anybody who loved Kaylee, and yep, the rest of their lives they have to live with that. It's a heavy burden. Can't get this to work right. Well, I couldn't get too much in the documentary because I found out that a lot of you had not watched it. And I also did say that I would go live with my friend Country Joe to do it. She is very passionate about this case, remembers it all taking place and everything in between. So this is the best I could do for tonight without crossing too many lines. We are going to have it scheduled for an upcoming day soon to actually go over more of the documentary as opposed to the original crime taking place. Oh, thank you so much, Froggy. I'm so excited. I can't wait to tell you. And I will live stream getting a tattoo. I didn't even think to do that. Her parents were the star witness against her. I don't feel bad for them either, and I don't think they're innocent either. There's something weird about them. Yeah, she's estranged from the whole family. She's just out here, tarnishing them now. Yeah, Billy Sunday. I know. Really, Beatlemaniac? I'll mention that. Nobody has anything to do with her. That's what I wanted to do, Blues Girl. I wanted to kind of take us back to that day, or not the day, but the beginning of the case, because it has been so many years and people do forget. We remember, stuff that you can't forget, but for the most part, it is hard to. So I thought if we revisited, it'd be great, but I also have to wait for CJ. And I wanted to compare the lies then to the lies today, and there's been some major ones. I mean, how do you totally explain Zanny and where she lives and all these elaborate stories about this and that and the phone and her coworkers and blah-de-da-de-da, and none of it was real. None of it was real. She said it so confidently that if you didn't know better, you believe it. She lied. The parents lied. And Kaylee died. Yep. I can't believe Kaylee would be 17. That blows my mind. That poor baby girl. Wow. Anyway, I appreciate you all being here with me tonight. I'm sorry it didn't go quite as according to plan, but I think it was pretty well. And thank you all for participating and interacting in the chat. And she said she had many chances to tell the police what she did know. Yeah, she didn't want to. She didn't want to. She was quite content just lying and getting away with everything. Thank you, Sunshine State. Thank you for being here. Howdy. I will hopefully see you all tomorrow. It is my birthday eve. It's exciting. Tomorrow I will be doing, I might have to move the WAS case. I might have to, but I don't know. But I will be doing a 90s birthday bash, going back to the 90s. And then Saturday I won't be live. I'll be celebrating my birthday with my friends and family. But yeah, it'd be great to have you all here with me tomorrow. And I hope you all have a great night. She's a tough little bitch. She went from being spoiled to jail, and it didn't faze her. Well, yeah. Yeah, she had everybody right around her fingers, if you think about it. People she ended up dating, seeing, when so many of us would take these videos. I know. Thank you. Tomorrow, same time tomorrow, Connie, for the 90s. We'll do 90s trivia, talk about some 90s things. I'm trying to think. We'll just take it for what it is, right? I don't know. Whatever way the live turns is the way we'll go with it. It will be 7:30 p.m. tomorrow. It is technically, huh? Eastern time. 7:30 Eastern time. Find out for us. Find out for us. Let's go. Oh, man. She just listening to her just infuriates me all over again. I cannot. I wish I was born in the 90s, not the World War II era. Thank you, Lady Fee. Yes, everybody have a great night. I hopefully will see you all here tomorrow. Thank you. I'm going to crimp my hair for the party. Oh, stop it, Angie. I might crimp my hair. Don't say. I might even go find butterfly clips. Don't play with me now. I'll be wearing my Rugrats if I don't get on one of my swooshy outfits. Stop it. That is going to be so funny. Now you got me thinking of everything I need to do. I vaguely remember the 90s. Oh, man, they were the good days for me. Well, we did it in the 90s, too. We did, Larry. And we had butterfly clips. Did they have them in the 80s? I don't think so. As if, and talk to the hand, okay? Yes, we are, Billy. Yes, we are. Now I got to go plan this out. Oh my gosh. I don't have it. I was going to rock my I don't know, my Nickelodeon shirt was all the thing I could think of. And look, now the kids crimp today because I have a crimper. Don't play with me. Banana clips. I remember banana clips. I like 60s, 70s music, but as far as 90s, Michael Jackson was the bomb. Maybe I'll wear a leather jacket. I don't know. Just don't crimp your style. We are out on that note because, Gary, you always had the best jokes. Thank you. Thank you, moderators, for always being so great. I was a teenager in the 90s, and I still think I have crimp damage. That's why all our hair's fried out. How about the really thin eyebrows of the 2000s? Can we not? Now these kids want them all puffy and thick, and it's like, wait a minute. We already got rid of it. We can't. I love Barney. I'll put my Barney plush up here with me. That's my friend. I love Barney. All right, guys, I am out of here. Thank you again to the new members. Welcome, welcome back. Thank you for the super sticker, for the super chat. Thank you, Jake, for the Cash App. I appreciate you more than you know. And please hit the thumbs up on the thumbs up on your way out. My goodness. I don't have one, Wendy. That's why I don't know how to end. Oh my gosh, I love Are You Afraid of the Dark? Did you see the remakes? Stop. You're going to keep me here all night. We will talk about that tomorrow, the Lauren B effect. Maybe I'll do a I don't have one. Now you make me feel weird. I got to come up with one. I don't know. Business suits with the shoulder pads. Okay, bye.